Real quickly, we want to go ahead and get to Ari Fleischer, who's now joining us on the phone. He was one of the authors of the Growth and Opportunity Project. Mr. Fleischer, it's great to have you with us.
Great to be with you.
So, Ari, it's JD, and I remember the days when you were press secretary for the Ways and Means Committee. Ari, last year, the report about opportunity and outreach, 1 year has passed. A partisan press called it a GOP autopsy. Aside from that catcall, which I guess is predictable in the D.C. press, what parts of this project for growth and opportunity have been successful in your mind?
All right. Well, first, JD, it's great to be on with you again. You and I go back, gosh, it's 20 years, so always wonderful to say hello to you.
Thank you.
But what's been most successful are the mechanical pieces, the things that a party is supposed to implement. Things such as getting its technology shop in order, catching up and getting ahead of the Democrats where they leapfrogged us in data and technology, behind-the-scenes things. Things like changing the primary calendar so we have a convention that takes place earlier in the year so our candidate doesn't run out of money and get beat up by the Democrats when they have a convention in August. We need to move it up to June or to July. All those mechanical pieces are being done, plus, very importantly, outreach. The party is making a determined effort to grow the Republican vote in places where we used to get shellacked. And if we keep getting shellacked in minority communities, we'll never win the White House again. So the party is doing a very good job, in my opinion, about getting troops on the ground in the black community, Hispanic community, Asian community, places where we need to make our case, argue our merits, and win more votes.
Ari, we appreciate you coming on with us. We're going to have to stop it right there. A little bit of problem with telephone reception. But Dick, we heard loudly and clearly from Ari the mechanics, getting the house in order. And while that is important, it's not the big thing preparing for the midterms.
Yeah, the fundamental problem that the Republicans have with outreach is the message. Their message on women is blocked by abortion. Their message on to Latinos is blocked by immigration reform. Now, you can overcome those without running afoul of many of your convictions. You can deal with immigration reform without giving them the right to vote. You can deal with abortion by a real focus on choice in education, teacher quality, breaking the teachers' union, like Scott Walker has done in Wisconsin. But I think the RNC effort has been, I gather, long on mechanics, although I don't know, but certainly short on message. What's generally happening, though, is that in off-year elections, minorities don't turn out as heavily as they do in on-year elections. And this election will probably be a wave election, mainly because the increased black and Latino vote probably won't happen in this election. Now, will it ever happen if a black man is not at the head of the ticket? We don't know the answer to that.
And that seems to be highlighted, but we heard from the director, the president of La Raza, who recently accused the president of being, quote unquote, the deporter in chief. And JD, you brought up that the numbers, the statistics that are being used to quantify the deportations might be dubious, but still, Dick, that kind of message directed at the president for his deportation stance, that might foreshadow just how abysmal the outreach effort for the Democrats could be, getting those folks to the polls this election cycle.
Well, I think Obama is going to absolutely surrender on that. I think Obama will basically stop deporting anybody. He's ordered a review of deportation procedures to make them more humane.
But that speaks to the sentiment of the community, the way they feel about the president, and doesn't really give us much indication that they're going to come out in force like they did in 2012 and 2008.
I think that's the key point. I think that it may be a bridge too far to get them to love Republicans, but it certainly is possible to get them to hate Democrats.
Well, we know that is the effort right now, but a tough road to hoe. I mean, can you imagine doomsday scenario? Karl Rove last night would not predict that the GOP was going to win the Senate definitively. We can understand why he might be a little reluctant to do so, but what would happen if they do not win the Senate back? It would make 2012, the day after 2012, look like Christmas morning.
It'll give us plenty to talk about,
true.
but a lot going into the midterms, John. Dick, as always, we appreciate your wisdom and counsel. Keep it on the issues the Republicans should be okay. And we'd like you to address those issues. Here's how you do it via social media. You can tweet us at NewsmaxTV, hashtag America's Forum. Also, you can find us at Facebook.com and your ever popular email. Our address, connect@newsmaxtv.com. There is more to come on America's Forum.